Something small, you would get very sick.
Yeah.
Then a little bit more, you could probably go blind. And then death after that.
You've probably experienced food poisoning at least once before. While it is a nasty experience, there are some foods out there that can and will kill you if you make the slightest mistake while cooking or even eating them. Here are 7 deadliest foods in the world, ranging from exotic to surprisingly common in our daily lives. And what's next on the list will truly surprise you. First up on this list is the humble red kidney beans. This pantry staple, beloved for its nutritional value and versatility in various dishes, harbors a sinister secret when consumed in its raw or undercooked form. Red kidney beans contain high levels of a plant protein called phytohemagglutinin, a compound that can wreak havoc on the human body. When ingested, phytohemagglutinin triggers a dangerous reaction, causing red blood cells to clump together, leading to symptoms similar to severe food poisoning. The effects of consuming undercooked red kidney beans can range from moderate to severe, with potential consequences including nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and even damage to the digestive system. In extreme cases, the toxin can potentially lead to more severe complications. But red kidney beans are not the only staple food with dark secrets. You might find this next one even more surprising. Cassava, also known as manioc, is a tropical root vegetable that serves as a staple ingredient in the cuisines of Latin America and the Caribbean. However, beneath its unassuming exterior lies a potential hazard. Raw cassava contains cyanide, a potent poison that demands meticulous preparation to render the root safe for consumption. There are 2 distinct varieties of cassava, sweet and bitter. While the sweet variety is relatively less harmful, the bitter cassava harbors significantly higher levels of cyanide, making proper preparation all the more crucial. The methods for safely preparing cassava differ based on the variety. Sweet cassava requires only cooking to neutralize any trace amounts of cyanide present. Bitter cassava, on the other hand, requires a more rigorous process. It must be grated, soaked, and then cooked thoroughly to reduce the cyanide content to safe levels. But if you decide to skip any of these steps, then you might end up in a coma or even end up dead. Despite its potential dangers, cassava remains a cherished ingredient in many traditional dishes. While you may not have seen cassava before, you've probably eaten the next food we're going to talk about. Rhubarb. Now let's talk about something a bit more common. Most of you might be a bit surprised that the rhubarb plant is on this list. While the tart and stalks are widely used in jams, pies, and other desserts, it is the leaves of this plant that demand caution. Rhubarb leaves contain oxalic acid, a compound that is highly toxic to the kidneys and can even prove fatal if consumed in excessive quantities. For an average adult weighing 65 kilos, ingesting between 4 to 8 kilos of rhubarb leaves could potentially lead to death. Even if you only consume a few leaves of this plant, the consequences can be severe. Symptoms may include a burning sensation in the mouth and throat, nausea, difficulty breathing, diarrhea, and a host of other unpleasant side effects. While the likelihood of accidentally consuming a lethal dose of rhubarb leaves may be low, their presence on this list serves as a reminder that even the most harmless of plants can harbor hidden dangers. On the other hand, this next food actually screams dangerous even as you eat it. Hakarl. Hakarl is a traditional Icelandic treat with origins dating back to the Viking era, but it presents a formidable challenge to even the most adventurous eaters. This dish consists of highly fermented meat from the Greenland shark, a creature whose flesh is poisonous. The meat of the Greenland shark contains high levels of trimethylamine oxide and uric acid, substances that, if ingested in their raw state, can cause severe intoxication, intestinal distress, neurological effects, and in some cases, even death.
Something small, you would get very sick.
Yeah.
Then a little bit more, you could probably go blind. And then death after that.
However, the Vikings discovered that these toxins could be neutralized through a meticulous fermentation process. Traditionally, the shark meat was buried under sand for several months, allowing the poisonous compounds to break down and render the meat safe for consumption. After this lengthy period, the fermented flesh is then hung to dry. In modern times, the aging process is more commonly carried out in controlled containers. Even after the painstaking preparation, Hakarl presents a sensory assault that few can withstand. The pungent, fermented aroma and taste are often described as overpowering.
It's I dye my hair and it's literally like bleach.
With a lingering aftertaste similar to urine. It is no wonder that this dish is frequently accompanied by a shot of local Icelandic liquor, perhaps in a desperate attempt to mask the intense flavors. If you think Hakarl is awful, then brace yourself because this next one is just disgusting. Sannakji. For the daring souls unfazed by wriggling, slimy tentacles, the Korean dish Sannakji presents a unique culinary challenge. This delicacy consists of live baby octopus tentacles that have been freshly prepared and sliced for the adventurous foodie. Unlike Fugu or Hakarl, Sannakji does not contain inherent toxins. Instead, the danger lies in the possibility of choking to death if the tentacles are not consumed with utmost care. The suction cups on the chopped up tentacles can cling to the roof of the mouth or the inside of the throat, blocking the airway and potentially leading to suffocation. According to reports, approximately 6 people die each year from attempting to indulge in this squirming delicacy. To avoid becoming another statistic, Sannakji enthusiasts must exercise extreme caution and chew thoroughly to prevent the tentacles from sticking to their throats. Choking on your food seems bad enough, but this next food is more of poison than food, especially when it's unripe. Ackee fruit. The ackee fruit, Jamaica's national treasure, has faced a ban in its unripe form within the United States since 1973. When unripe, this fruit harbours a poisonous toxin known as hypoglycin A, which disrupts the body's ability to produce glucose, increasing the risk of hypoglycemia or low blood sugar levels. Left unchecked, this can lead to a coma or, in severe cases, death.
Because if it is closed, it's deadly. It will kill you.
The seeds of the ackee fruit are also highly toxic and should never be consumed. To enjoy this fruit safely, you must wait patiently for it to fully ripen on the tree. A ripe ackee fruit is easily identifiable when its red outer shell splits open to reveal 3 white arils. If the flesh remains yellow, it shows that the fruit is still unripe and unsuitable for consumption. Ingesting an unripe portion of ackee has been known to cause a condition termed Jamaican vomiting sickness, which, after bouts of violent vomiting, can cause the victim to go into a coma and, in some cases, lead to death. However, properly ripened and canned or frozen ackee is safe for consumption and permitted within the United States. While ackee fruit is something you can handle, especially when you know what you're doing, you need a specialist to cook this next food. Fugu is exotic Japanese delicacy, also known as pufferfish. This marine creature harbours a deadly poison called tetrodotoxin in its organs, rendering it the most poisonous edible item on the planet. Tetrodotoxin is a potent neurotoxin that blocks sodium channels, causing paralysis of the muscles while the victim remains fully conscious. If ingested, it eventually leads to respiratory failure and death by asphyxiation. To safely prepare fugu for consumption, Japanese chefs undergo years of rigorous training to obtain a license. The process of rendering fugu safe for consumption is an exercise in precision. The chef must expertly remove and discard the eyes, brain, ovaries, liver and intestines, the parts that contain the lethal tetrodotoxin. A single fugu fish contains enough poison to kill up to 30 adults, with the toxin being a staggering 1,200 times more potent than cyanide. Consuming even a tiny sliver of the poisonous organs can prove fatal, leading to respiratory paralysis within a day. Most fugu-related deaths occur when people attempt to prepare the fish themselves. Have you tried any of these foods? If you're fascinated by the mysteries of the mind and the bizarre, make sure to hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.